Good morning, everyone. This is Venkatesh Maipati from Mahaniya Technology Solutions. I am launching small workshop on multi-threading and Java concurrency. It will play a key role for all multi-threading applications or web applications or enterprise applications, you can say. So I took a concept known as master the fundamentals of multi-threading and Java concurrency, I said. So I'm going to cover the fundamentals available or related for multi-threading. I'm going to discuss in this recording anyway. Let me start with basics. Let me start with some basics here. Generally, we start with define program we are going to start. So program is a set of instructions, Program is a set of instructions. Everybody knows. So define application, set of programs collected together, to perform defined task is known as application. Set of programs collected together to perform defined task is known as application. Generally, so let me take one registration application, user registration. I'm going to take for example purpose. Application, some user registration process anyway. Suppose if I consider this as one application, if I consider it user registration process, you can say. This one is application. Application means a set of programs. In your learning process of your Java domain, whenever you want to enter as a developer into Java domain, we are going to start with core Java, followed by advanced Java, then followed by Spring and its flavors and web services. In this process, core Java will give awareness to the students how to write programs generally, and advanced Java will give the awareness to collect all that programs together to perform some defined action generally. So here we are discussion is one application. Internally, we have user registration process, user login process, whenever you want to see your profile, some view profile, some edit profile, and logout. Registration process, login process, edit profile. So let us take view profile first and then edit profile. View profile. Then comes your edit profile, you can say. And you can say logout, you can say. So each one is one program. This is one program. This is one program. So let me comment it for clarity purpose. This is one program. This is one more program. This is one more program. This is one more program. So whenever we collect these 5 programs together, when these five programs perform some defined action like supporting user registration process, user login process, user view profile process, user edit profile process, user logout. When these 5 programs together performing some defined action, you can call it as one application. That only definition there. For clarity purpose, I drawn one small layout also. Now, hope you understood program and application, I think. Now, define process. Here, process means execute. Process means execution. Process means execute. Processing means execution. Processing means executing. Process means execute or execution, you can say. Here, 2 definitions we can present. For clarity purpose, I'm representing here. According to operating system. According to operating system, the program under execution is known as process. So whenever we open any VLC player from your operating system or your system environment, whenever we open any other software from your system environment, each one is one program, and the program under execution, we call it as process. According to Java application development, according to Java, the application under execution is known as process. The application under execution, application under execution is known as process. So many people will not identify this. According to Java application development, or after completing your application development, we run the applications. So whenever we call one application for execution, the application under execution, we call it as a process. The application under execution, we call it as process. So here, this is process. This is one process. This complete is one process, you can see. One process, you can see. Suppose if I want to run this application, generally, I'll open any web browsers, HTTPS, www.userregistration.com, roughly. If I call it, I am calling this application for execution. That's the meaning. I'll call this application for execution, I'll call it. So I'm calling it. So we call the applications for executions. So meaning. So because of this reason, the application under execution, we call it as a process. Hope you understood this statement. Now comes a task. This is the basics. Define task, you can say. The part of process. The part of process is known as a task. The part of process is known as a task. The part of process, we call it as a task. According to Java application, according to Java application, according to Java application, according to Java application, each program in application is considered as task. According to Java application, each program in application is considered as a task. Each program according to Java application, each program in application is considered as a task. Each program in application is a server program, or you can say servlet program. So what I'm trying to introduce to you through this statement is, in Java, whenever we go with a server application development, the program what is running under server environment, we call it as a servlet program or server program, you can say. So according to Java application, each program in application is considered as a task. Each program in application is a server program or servlet program. Simply, each servlet program is one task. Each servlet program in server application is one task simply. So in this diagram, each one is one task. This 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 is one task anyway. This is one task. Okay. This is one task. Okay. This is one task. This is one task. So each one is one task. So part of process means registration, one task. Login, one task. View profile, one task. Edit profile, one task. Logout, one task. Because they are all part of your application, nothing but part of a process. Application means a process. This is the visual. Here we have a definition known as multitasking definition is there. I said no fundamentals will be covered here. Multitasking. Executing multiple tasks simultaneously. Executing multiple tasks simultaneously is known as multitasking. You can say. Simultaneously means at a time, but not parallel. Simultaneously means at a time, but not parallel. Not parallel. So the execution happens simultaneously. We call it as concurrently. So multiple tasks will be completed at a time, but the execution is not in parallel. That's the meaning. So thread-based multitasking, the term is available to you. Somebody will ask. Define thread-based multitasking. Executing multiple tasks executing multiple tasks executing multiple tasks simultaneously executing multiple tasks simultaneously from the same process, nothing but application, is known as thread-based multitasking, you can say. executing multiple tasks simultaneously from the same process is known as thread-based multitasking, you can say. Sir, how can we run multiple tasks simultaneously from the same process? Like this. Suppose I have two users here. One more user will come. He also can access the same application. Web browser. HTTPS www dot some user registration.com. Suppose this is one user one, some name. So Ram is trying to access. This is one more user two. Always I type Alex. Definitely this application available here also. Not only Java supports multi-thread. So this application available to user one and this application available to user two, both. Now user one says that I want to perform registration process. I want to perform registration process. I want to do registration, he will say. User 2 says that I am an old user, I'll do login process. So this is one request. One user said, I want to do registration. One user said, I want to do login. Because my registration completed, I want to do login. Now both users from two different web browsers made a request to your application. But internal to the application, they're requesting one user for registration and one user for login. Now we have to run these two tasks simultaneously. Have to run it. Program 1 and program 2 should run simultaneously. Why we should run simultaneously means because both has to get the answers in the live web browsers. So we have to run simultaneously. In this process, two tasks from the same process executed simultaneously. We call it as thread based. Sir, how we are running simultaneously means internal to it here. We execute some part of registration and we show that part output to user one. Then we shift the control internally and we execute some part of login. Whatever the part executed, we show the output to user two. In that way, we run simultaneously. Again, some part is executed from here. Again, some part is executed from here. So whatever the part executed here, this part. The part of task we are executing now, whatever the part executed here, this part by terminology, we call it as thread. That only introduction to us. the part, we call it as a thread. That part we call it as thread. Part of process is known as a task. Part of task we call it as a thread. We call it as a thread. So that is, hope you got information about your threads. Right. Now comes definition of thread, you can say. Definition of thread. So define thread, you can say. Define thread. The part of task is known as a thread. The part of task is known as a thread. So thread has few definitions. You had it. Thread is a lightweight and background process. Thread is a lightweight and background process. Lightweight means consumes less execution time. Background process. Background process means there is no separate identification process. There is no separate identification process. There is no separate identification. If there is no separate identification process, it is a background process. Lightweight means consumes less execution time. We call it as lightweight. So there is other name for it. So other way terminology is thread is also known as child process, you can say. Now comes define multi-threading process. Executing multiple threads. Executing multiple threads simultaneously is known as multi-threading process. You can say executing multiple threads simultaneously is known as a multi-threading process. You can say. So now comes the concept of creating threads, practical approach. In Java, how can we create a thread? Creating threads, basics. Creating threads can be done in two ways. Creating threads can be done in two ways. We can do one using thread class, using runnable interface. Thread class and runnable interface, you can say. Thread class and runnable interface. You can say. So there is one predefined class you have. Suppose I'm taking one class known as thread class. I'm taking thread one class. This is coming from lang package, java.lang package. You can see. Here some methods are there, thread. Yeah. java.lang.thread classes. This thread class implements from runnable. That is different, but we are concentrating on thread class. So there are some methods available. Some methods are available. Dot, dot. Especially we concentrate on method known as run method. And one start method we concentrate. So there are some other methods available, more methods we concentrate on ones. Like this. In the process of constructing thread, in the process of creating thread, the user defined class must be extended from java.lang thread class. Let us write like a points. The extension class. The extension class must be declared with run method. Declared with run method, and which is overriding, which must be overriding. And the third step to be remembered, execute run method using start method. Execute run method using start method. Three steps, you had it. Let me take one application for demo purpose here. Some application user registration. I'm taking one application. Internally, I'm taking two programs I will take. One program is register. Registration. One is login. So extends and extends. Here we write the run method we write. We write one run method. Here we have registration logic. Here we have login logic. So like this. Now, according to the above discussion, what has been happened up to now? So this is one program, but program means a task. So this is one task. So this is one task. So let me construct this practically once. So let me take one workspace. So let me type that once. Let me make this environment ready once. Type. I'm setting the environment. 2 minutes. Sorry, I am taking one project. Take 2 packages. So I took 2 packages here. Part of test. I'm taking one program. Class program means a class. I'll take the program as registration. I'll take one for registration. I'll take one more program as a login. As a login. So here the class must be extends from predefined class thread. Here you must write public void run. So this is override method. Here I am taking one for loop. Int I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus. End of. We take 5. So here I'll take one try catch. Here I'm taking thread dot sleep of 2000 milliseconds. I'm taking. So what is the meaning of this code means? This loop runs for 5 times. 1 to 5. 5 times this method is executed. When this method is executed for 5 times, sleep method specify to stop the execution temporarily on some timer. What is the timer means? 2000 milliseconds is the timer. So stop the execution temporarily for 2000 milliseconds. Stop the execution temporarily for 2000 milliseconds. So how many times the execution stops means 5 times it stops. So 5 into 2 means 10,000 milliseconds will be stopped. So here execution time is 10,000 milliseconds. So this registration logic will run for 10,000 milliseconds because I selected 2,000 milliseconds for 5 times. 10,000 milliseconds. It will run. Now, here I'll keep one message here. I'll keep one message. So system dot out dot print. Here's some user name I'm taking. Alex or Ram, example. Ram. Performing registration process. Ram performing registration process. I'm displaying the time also. So new date means date and time. Import Java dot. Date and time will be displayed. So this message will be displayed for 10 times, sorry, 5 times. And the total loop will run for 10,000 milliseconds. So RAM will perform registration for 10,000 milliseconds. That's the time given to the RAM for demo purpose. The same thing we are going to do for login process. Extends from thread class. Here, Alex performing login process. Login process. Performing login process. So here also I given 10,000 milliseconds to the Alex. Actually, if multi-threading process not available means registration will run for 10,000 milliseconds. After that, login process will be executed. But because of multi-threading process here, both will run simultaneously. Both will run simultaneously. They will run it. Simultaneously means some part from here. So some part executed from here. Some part executed from here. Then some part executed from here because of multi-threading. Some part will be executed from here and some part will be executed from here because of multi-threading. So whether this will happen or not, let me run it and check it. So let me check whether it is happening or not. Let me check it. So whenever you want to run this, I said no. You have to call run method by using start method. I made a statement. Run method using start method. Right. Execute run method using start method. Execute run method using start. So let me do that. If I want to execute run method using start method, if I want to call start method, I must create objects for this. Registration object I must create. And login object I must create. And so on. I must create. So for that, I am creating here. See there. I'll go for main class. Right click on an access. New. One class. Demo. Some main. Main means test class anyway. I'm running from main. So import test.star. Create objects for registration. Registration or RG equal to new registration. So this is registration object. This is registration object. Login. New login. This is login object. So here RG dot start. LG dot start. Sir, where is this start method available? So start method is available in the parent. Yeah. Thread class start will come here. The start method will be available to their child classes. From there, we can call the start method, you can call it. So you can call the start method, you can call it. Start method, you can call it. So let me run this once. I'm running it. See there. Registration, login. Registration, login. Registration, login. Registration, login. Registration, login. See the timing? Here. Registration 56, 56, 58, 58 at a time. At a time. 0, 0, 0, 0. 02, 02, 04, 04 at a time. This performed at a time. So time will be same anyway here. So here I took one example. This is the output you had it. I took one project there. one Java project, application, user REG. Under test package, I took one registration dot Java. Under test package, I taken login dot Java. Under maccess package, I taken demo main dot Java. So this program is demonstrating using thread class. We implemented by using thread class. We implemented both executed simultaneously. That you have to observe it. So multi-thread is about executing multiple tasks simultaneously. Here multiple tasks means multiple web browser requests indirectly. In the real-time scenario, multiple web browser requests are executed simultaneously. Multiple web browser requests are executed simultaneously. Right. So what is the second process you had here? Using runnable interface, you had it. Directly through runnable interface, you had it. For this, we are taking one runnable. Runnable one interface. One interface. This runnable interface is available from lang package. So java.lang package, you have it. So I'll open this runnable. Generally, thread class will have many methods. So if I open runnable one interface, it has only one method, that is run method. Only one method available, that is run method. Moreover, this method is abstract method, you know. So the interface which is holding only one abstract method, according to Java 8 version, we call it as a functional interface, you can say. Functional interface, you can say. You can say functional interface, you can say. So whenever the functional interface is there, we can write lambda expressions. We can write implementations in the form of lambda, you can write. So we are writing lambda expressions for it. One lambda expression we write. One more lambda expressions we write. We will write one lambda expression. LAMBDA. One lambda expression. One more lambda expression we will write. LAMBDA. Lambda expression we write. For this run method, we write two lambda expressions we write. One we do it as same registration logic, I will write. Because concept same I'm taking, program same. for understanding purpose. Registration logic I will take. I'll take a registration logic. And I'll take login logic, I'll take here. Save. Login logic, I'll take. Registration logic and login logic. I'll take. So let me construct that lambda here once. So one